Any parent should know New York State requires a host of immunizations for children to attend school, but its laws also allow for valid medical exemptions. In this case, the judge found that despite having one, the Starpoint district was wrong when it continued to attempt to bar a teenage girl from coming to school.
This is a decision that's really first of its kind, where it's actually addressed this issue head on of whether or not medical directors can second guess licensed physicians across New York State.
Attorney Chad Davenport represents the parents of the teenage girl who in court papers are all only identified by their initials. The girl lacked the required vaccine for diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis after her doctor determined that due to an existing neurological condition, she could be harmed by it.
And that's why he signed a waiver excusing her from that vaccine requirement.
In his mind, that should have been the end of it, but the district dug in.
And it's unfortunate that we had to go through so much litigation over what should have been a very simple process.
In a statement to Two on Your Side, Starpoint's superintendent of schools wrote, "Our vaccination policy is based on guidance from the district's medical director and informed by established New York State Education Department directives."
Your medical director can't insert his own medical opinion as to whether or not this vaccine waiver should or shouldn't be applied.
And he says the district should have known this long ago.
There were some very clear statements that were made from the judge before we received that decision that this was a valid vaccine waiver, and they kept refusing to apply the law and kept refusing to acknowledge that our interpretation of the law was correct.
Since the ruling issued 5 days ago, Davenport says his office has received calls from parents across the state.
Based on the calls that I've received, there are significant, serious situations that are being ignored by school districts across the state for young children who have been injured by vaccines. This is a very serious issue that's not just isolated to this family.
And he says there's a teachable moment here for school districts statewide.
If a licensed physician, somebody who has been certified by New York State to provide appropriate medical decisions, says that this child should not receive a vaccine, school districts need to learn to accept that, because if they don't, they're not following the law.
Additionally, Starpoint Superintendent Sean Croft says the district will follow the judge's order to permit the girl to attend school. And Davenport wanted to make clear that his clients are not anti-vaxxers, noting that they, their other children, and indeed the daughter around whom this legal storm has brewed, have all taken all the other required immunizations. On Your Side in the studio, Dave McKinley, Channel 2 News.